The first thing, I just want to say a few words about the UK-Rwanda Migration and Economic Development Partnership, because that has been big news over the last couple of weeks. I want to give you time to ask questions, so I won't say too much. But I just want to start by saying that the reason this all came about is because the asylum system is currently broken. Too many people are losing their lives in the channel between the UK and France, and people smugglers are profiting off the misery of vulnerable people. Both the governments of the UK and Rwanda believe that that problem cannot persist, that we need to find solutions, we need to find new and innovative ways of tackling that problem, because doing nothing is not an option. That's why over 9 months, the governments of the UK and Rwanda were discussing how we would find those solutions, about what ways we could find that would protect people, that would offer them hope and opportunity to rebuild their lives, but that would also break the business model of those people smugglers, because we don't want to see that kind of criminality continue. Both sides, when reaching this agreement, are fully focused on the need to meet all national and international legal obligations to ensure that anybody who is transferred under this agreement receives the care and the services that they require, and there will be funding in order to support that. But we also realize that for this partnership to work, there also have to be benefits for the people of Rwanda and for Rwanda as a country. To help integrate the asylum seekers who may relocate and may rebuild their lives here, but also to help build the human capital, the skills, the job opportunities in Rwanda that will allow these people to be absorbed. And we have seen in the past some excellent examples of Rwanda's hospitality to refugees and to migrants, and we want to help them support that process and work very closely with our partners in the government of Rwanda to do so. Yes, I really disagree with that criticism, because first I also think that some of those criticisms have treated this as something that the UK has done to Rwanda, as if the government of Rwanda is not a fully fledged partner in this discussion. This is a partnership between two equals. We have talked together about how we can deal with this problem, how we can make it better, and this solution is something that we have come up with jointly, so I think it is a real partnership between the two countries. The UK will continue to do our part in terms of welcoming asylum seekers and genuine refugees, and we have done so recently with Afghans, with Ukrainians, with Syrians, and with others, and that will continue. But this is another way of sharing the burden and of ensuring that we break the business model of the people smugglers, because at the moment they are holding the sort of carrot of getting to the UK as something that tempts vulnerable people into taking really dangerous journeys where they're losing their lives in the Channel or the Mediterranean, and that bit can't go on. So we want to make sure that that stops, while also giving genuine asylum seekers a real opportunity to rebuild their lives, and that's what Rwanda is going to offer them. This partnership is new and it's innovative. It's not been done before. So I don't think it's surprising that there are people who have concerns, criticisms about it. I think what both my government and the government of Rwanda feel confident about is that we've developed a partnership that is legal, that respects all our obligations, that ensures we treat vulnerable people correctly, that they are given access to all their rights and so on. So I think we feel confident that this is something that we can take forward. I think those criticisms and challenges we'll continue to deal with. You've seen many responses, including, for example, joint articles by the Honourable Foreign Minister Baruta here and the Home Secretary Priti Patel in the UK, setting out why we're doing this, how it fulfills our obligations. So I think we will continue to attempt to explain this and to show the rationale. But I think also once it gets started, people will see a different side of it. They will see how it works, because at the moment they are asking questions about things that haven't yet happened. So I think there'll be some challenge. But you mentioned the UN. The UNHCR, for example, does relocate people here through a different system, it's true, but moves people, refugees from Libya to Rwanda. They moved another 100 or so last month. And the UNHCR representatives here have spoken publicly about how well treated and well received they have been here in Rwanda. So I think that shows the sort of hospitable nature of Rwanda and Rwandans to refugees, and I think that's what we'll see in this partnership too. Yeah, so there are several questions there. On the numbers, we don't have a specific number. We would expect this to be in the thousands over the course of the partnership, but there isn't a specific cap on that partnership. On the UNHCR, as I said in answer to the other question, yes, there have been concerns. We're continuing to talk to them about it. But there have also been examples of where there have been transfers of refugees to Rwanda, which has been done well, which has been a success. And though it's a different sort of partnership, that's part of the evidence. On the situation of the economy, that's precisely why this is a two-part partnership. It's the migration partnership, but it's also the economic development partnership. So through this agreement, the UK will be putting in significant funding to help tackle the imbalances of human capital that we see between the West and Africa, where we're looking to help create jobs, to create skills and enterprise here in Rwanda. And we've already announced that that will be through an initial £120 million to support that process. And as the partnership develops, that may change. But that money is specifically to help tackle those issues that you're talking about, and to ensure that relocated people have genuine opportunities to find jobs and build their lives here. Thank you. I mean, on the situation with Edinburgh University, I think that they have set out a very clear rejection of the statements that were made by somebody who is in a ceremonial post, not the head of the university. And the university has been very clear that it rejects any genocide denial, and it rejects the accusation that was made in that statement. And you know, the government of the United Kingdom has also been clear that we totally reject any genocide denial, and you know, particularly in this month of remembrance and commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsis. So I think they have been very clear on that. In terms of the asylum seekers that are going to be sent here, the agreement and the memorandum of understanding between the UK and Rwanda is online, is public. It sets out the obligations that both sides expect of each other, and we will both live up to those, and that includes the protections that relocated individuals will enjoy, their access to lawyers and that sort of thing. On the situation for LGBT individuals, it's true that in Rwanda there is no specific law that protects LGBT communities, but the constitution is very clear that it outlaws all discrimination against any individual based on their identity. So that includes LGBT individuals. Unlike some of the other countries in the region, Rwanda does not outlaw homosexuality and LGBT individuals, and so I think that is a positive thing. We're also seeing here an increasing vibrancy and confidence of LGBT organizations, which I think is a positive thing. That's not to say that the lives of LGBT people here are perfect, but they are not perfect in Europe. There is discrimination that may happen, but I think we have very clear protections in this agreement of the rights of anybody who is transferred here, whether they're LGBT or whether they're not, and the protections that they must get. Well, I totally reject the idea that either we or the government of Rwanda is involved in human trading. This is about resettling genuine asylum seekers and giving them hope and opportunities in a new country, and Rwanda is offering that to people. And Rwanda has offered that to many, many people in the past, you know, including from neighboring countries and so on. And I think it's also worth remembering, as you will know better than I, that many individuals in the government of Rwanda have had personal experience of what it is like to live as a refugee. And so I think they have been very focused on thinking about how do you help people in that situation, how do you stop them dying in the channel? How do you stop them falling victim to criminals? And so that's where this partnership comes from. And in terms of the sort of the situation in Rwanda, I think this economic development partnership will help tackle some of those problems, because it is a very significant investment into human capital here in Rwanda to helping to create jobs and opportunities. So I think over the course of this agreement that we will see that funding being put to good use to help both the integration of asylum seekers and Rwandan host communities. In terms of timelines, I don't have an exact date to give you. We would like it to happen relatively soon to begin, but it will be a gradual process over time. And it will depend also on whether there is legal challenge in the UK, and that will be dealt with, but we would like it to help to happen quite soon. Thank you. Well, you're asking me to predict the future, which is always dangerous. But I mean, we have been very clear. This is a partnership that we have agreed of both sides, two governments have agreed to and are ready to implement and are going to implement. So I'm not going to talk about backtracking at this stage, because that's not the government's policy. On the Commonwealth Summit, I think these are separate issues. This is a bilateral partnership that we've agreed with the government of Rwanda. And we are also very much looking forward to the Commonwealth Heads of State meeting here in Kigali, which I think is going to be an excellent event. And I think it's another opportunity for us to talk not just the UK and Rwanda, but collectively across the Commonwealth in how we deal with many global challenges. In that case, it could be things like environment, like youth opportunities, that kind of thing. But this partnership is also an example of Rwanda and the UK trying to put forward an innovative solution to a global problem. So that's why we started it. Well, as I said, in answer to his question, I don't have a specific time date to give you at this stage. We would like it to happen soon, but there is still some procedural issues that need to be completed before that. On your second question, the UK recognises the genocide against the Tutsi, and I have said that publicly. And we are totally against genocide denial or other ways of trying to diminish the events that happened in 1994. I think that the UPR statement still stands. You know, we think that there should be investigations into allegations of human rights abuses, and those should be carried out thoroughly. It's true that there are areas where we may not see completely eye to eye with the government of Rwanda. I don't think the government of the UK sees completely eye to eye with any government. There will always be issues that we want to discuss, including human rights. I discuss different issues of human rights with various members of the government of Rwanda. We have frank and open discussions, and that will continue. This relationship doesn't change that. But the reason that we have agreed this partnership is that we have confidence that people who are relocated to Rwanda will have their rights respected, and that they will be given access to healthcare, to accommodation, to legal services. That is all included in the agreement. And we have confidence in the government of Rwanda to deliver that.